Reality is as it is. And not only is reality as it is also as it should be. I'm quoting the founder of the school that I am currently assisting for in a breathwork teacher training and therefore spending an entire month on a beautiful Greek island. This philosophical perspective, like many other teachings and insights, have been part of this wonderful journey, with so many incredible teachers gathered here to train about 30 people that become Tantra and breathwork facilitators. I felt like it's time for another interview special. So today we will actually have three wonderful guests on the podcast, all coming from different backgrounds. And while we're overlooking the deep blue agency, we will talk about some of the most frequently asked questions, extremely present topics, and challenges of our current society. This includes stress and the everyday overwhelm, handling expectations, and how to set boundaries, fear and anxieties about the uncertainty, addictions and overstimulation, change, transition, and reinvention, and last but not least, the big topic of self-worth and the silent pressure to keep your life together at all times. With that, I warmly welcome you to Who I Am, your guided meditation podcast today with a interview special. My name is Jackie, and I hope that you're ready. I sure am, so let's go. Our first guest today is Till, and with his background, you as a listener can expect to gain some profound psychological insights. As a psychotherapist, a yoga teacher, and breathwork facilitator, and to be honest, these are only a few of Till's qualities. There is so much more behind that. In his work, he seeks to combine modern scientific methods from therapy with, let's say, more ancient and traditional spiritual techniques originating in the path of yoga or pranayama. In fact, over the years, he has become more and more fascinated by how complementary they are, which is one of the main reasons he brings this unique blend into action and is here today to share his insights based on his explorations. So Till, many people know they're overthinking, but they feel like they're unable to stop. What can you do if you feel like breaking the cycle and you want to stop overthinking?
Okay, that's an interesting question and a hard one, I guess. I would say the first is to catch yourself overthinking and then put a boundary there. Yeah, you're probably numbing something with overthinking. And the best technique I know is to put awareness there and then apply, for example, a method to really think the thought to its end. Yeah, what we know is that often these loops persist because we don't think until the end. For example, I don't know, my partner will go away from me and I start thinking about it. And then I ask myself, and then? Then I'm alone. And then? I feel miserable. And then I cannot go to work. And then? Yeah, and at some point you will end up somewhere where you're like, okay, yeah, maybe I lose my job and have no partner, but I'm still alive. Something like this. Yeah, what we see is you really have to stay there and ask until you feel, okay, that's the last thought. This is, I think, the best method I know to stop these kind of thought patterns.
Interesting. So kind of proactively creating a cycle of questions that will lead me towards what lies underneath.
Yes. And what then shows me, okay, at the end, there is an end to this. Yeah, so what we would say in psychologically, methods or therapies is with the thought patterns, we try to avoid something. And the thoughts itself are the avoidance. It's not a behavior I show to avoid. For example, I'm anxious, I run away, but I have a feeling or something comes up. Obviously, it's, yeah, probably often it's anxiety or something. And then with my thoughts, I avoid. So this is why I have to think them until the end.
What would you say? Why does stillness feel so threatening for people?
Yeah, I think it's kind of obvious maybe. Um, we have so much input all day, so our brains are trained on input. And if then we don't get input, our brain is like, help, 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 what's happening? Help, help, am I dead?
Actually, I do know these people that would say for themselves, I just feel bored when nothing happens.
Hmm.
What can you do in that moment when you feel bored?
You maybe ask yourself, what is wrong with being bored and being in stillness at the same time? Sometimes you will feel bored, okay? Where's the problem?
Do you have an own life example of feeling overstimulated and creating these mental loops? And what did you personally do in that moment?
Yeah, of course I have. Let's say when I'm triggered by anything, I have the tendency of trying to find a solution very quickly. Yeah, I'm triggered. I don't know, maybe I did something wrong at work, or I feel maybe there could be something in the future which will not work out as I wanted. Then I start to search for solutions. And I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself, like, okay, how could I do this? How could I do that? Ah, no, this is not working, blah, 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 blah. So I'm instantly going into solution mode. And I think what is the most important part for me there is to find my pattern, which would I go into solution mode and then do the opposite. So I'm stopping searching for solutions. I'm taking some time. I try to meditate maybe on it, or to sit with it, or to maybe just do something else. And then maybe next day I come back to my solution mode.
So, by the sounds of it, you're saying that finding solutions in a moment where I feel I'm thinking a lot seems like a bad thing. Do I understand you correctly?
Yeah, for my personal case, yes, because you asked for personal experience. For me, yes, because I'm in a solution mode either way. Yeah, anyways. But if I'm a person who never looks for solution and who just freezes when there's something coming up, then maybe go into solution mode. But I don't have to go into solution mode because I'm anyways there most of the time. So I have to do the opposite. I think it's very individual. So my challenge is to not go into solution mode. Maybe another person on the other side of the spectrum is a challenge. Okay, go into the solution mode. Find solutions for you and your life.
Thank you so much for sharing your own perspective on this. So, to sum this up, when overthinking, it kind of all starts with the awareness of overthinking, and then to pause and literally dive deep into a specific thought until you have truly thought it until the end. And also, when feeling bored, this may seem unproductive at first, but truly it is the ultimate ground to retrain your system and find calm and joy in silence instead of discomfort. Now, based on a survey about mental health and burnout that I'm currently running with companies and individuals in the digital media industry, I can see that there is a lot of change and transitioning happening at the moment. Let's have a look into that.
Why do you think change can feel so destabilizing, even if it's positive change?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Actually, our brains are not made for change. You know, they love routine. We love patterns. That's how we work. If we wouldn't have patterns, I wouldn't breathe. My sensory system would not work. My heart would not beat. And I think this is why change is so challenging for us humans. Even if we're in a society and world where there's constant change, it's very hard for our brains to cope with that because we are made for routines. We're made for training. Yeah, we're made for, I don't know, walking. Walking is a crazy ability we have. Yeah, and we do it with routine. That's why we can do it. And I think this applies very much for our daily routines, our life routines, our relationship patterns, whatever you may see, that it's an effort to change. And it may be frightening because if I leave something old behind, what will come? I don't know. So this is also, I think, our predictive mind, which wants to control, and humans are well known to be, like flight animals. So we're running away. We try to avoid. We don't want to feel that fear. So I think,
Mhm. Regardless of positive or negative change, would you say that change can come easier to me with practice?
good question. Probably. I mean, if I have the life experience, I don't know. I changed my city where I live already 20 times in my life. 21st one would be easier than the second, probably. So I guess, yes, can be a practice to maybe just, even if it's small things. Yeah, I mean, we all say routines are good and it makes us easier, of course, but maybe I have my yoga routine. Every morning I meditate and I do my asanas, and maybe one day I don't feel like it. And then I just say, okay, no, today no. I change my routine.
Mm-hmm.
I sit first and I don't know, eat something or whatever. So maybe, yeah, could be a possibility to also keep us in a not so crazy routine way.
So, say someone is in a phase of transition right now,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in between those two phases, not really in that old phase anymore, but not yet in the new one. What can help them to stay grounded?
Breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Yeah, and I mean it in terms of do vagal breathing. Yeah, longer exhale than inhale. Maybe some breath work if you want to do it. Yeah, pranayama, and I think gentle movement. Yeah, to embody it, to maybe change your yoga practice if you have yoga practice which is more change based. Maybe try new asanas you never did before. Try to support your body in this situation, and maybe have a good relationship with your thinking mind or brain, and tell them, hey, we're going through something. You feel anxious, it's fine. I'm here. Yeah. So if we would put it in order to just accept that maybe in this transition phase you're frightened, more frightened than you normally used to, and it's all fine, is not a hint that something is wrong or off or you're going in the wrong direction.
So, kind of taking my brain, or maybe even taking the emotion, the fear, and sit it next to me and talk to it.
Yeah,
Would you say that helps?
I would say that helps. Yeah, I often, I don't know, would say to my clients, hey, why not take your fear in your hand and take it with you to the party? Yeah, so yeah, befriend your emotions is definitely always a good idea, and not to try to avoid them or put them away. Maybe ask them, hey, why are you anxious? What is it about?
What is something you learned about yourself only because you allowed change to happen?
Ah, that I don't have to grab everything, but that things come from itself to me.
It sounds simple, but probably is not at all, is it?
No, it's not. As I said, I'm like to search for solutions and like to make things happen, but this can be a lot of pressure and a lot of responsibility. So once I admitted that this style of living is, yes, cool because I can achieve stuff, I can make stuff, I can do stuff, but it also gives me a lot of pressure and responsibility, which may be not good for me in the end. And I took maybe a little step back. I realized, okay, world is not going to, I don't know, fall apart because I don't know, did whatever 10% less. Still there, and it's lighter and it's more easy, and maybe then things just happen because they come to me and I don't have to look always for them. So I really experience that. Yeah.
So also step away from a perfectionist mindset, would you say?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Perfectionist, yes, a little bit maybe, but especially from this achieving mindset, overachieving mindset. So, maybe an example with relationships. Yeah, if you, I don't know, if you're in a group of friends, let's say group of friends, and people have their roles, yeah, and someone is always a person, I don't know, who organizes stuff for the group when you, I don't know, go on holiday together or something. So my learning opportunity would be, okay, I don't organize, but it's not I didn't make the experience, then the holiday is not happening, just other people step up and do stuff.
Looking into the category of outside expectations or even inside expectations and setting boundaries, why does it feel so hard for many of us to say no?
I would say because we're trained to not say no, most of us. Yeah, we, for example, employers, and our boss says do this. If we want to be good employees, we say, yes, of course, boss. Yeah, you pay me. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Yeah. So if society wants us to do stuff and say yes, society doesn't want us to be people who set their boundaries and say no to stuff. So I think this is a big reason why. And on a, like, say, macro level, but on a micro level, I think most of us didn't really learn to set healthy boundaries because we didn't have parents who themselves had healthy boundaries, and they didn't have parents who had healthy boundaries. So where should it come from?
So the way you describe it, it comes from outside requests towards me, say from my boss, as your example was stated. And then I did not learn how to say no. And I feel like I'm a better employee if I just say yes to everything. How would you describe in that moment, if there's an outside request and I do say no, what does that make me feel?
But probably, hopefully empowered. Yeah, hopefully empowered, stepping up for yourself, saying no. Maybe anxious, maybe guilty, maybe shame. In my experience, guilt is what keeps up mostly from setting boundaries, especially in relationships. Yeah, because we had maybe parents who unconsciously worked with guilt, who made us feel bad if we said no, who made us feel bad if we didn't behave, who made us feel bad if we didn't do what was expected of us. So I feel guilty. And if I feel guilty, I cannot say no. If I have a friend who asks me, hey, Till, can you do this and this for me? And underneath somewhere I feel guilt, or if I say no, I feel guilty, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad friend, I will not be motivated to say no. So from my perspective, guilt is the most important emotion to work on if we want to, yeah, to learn to say maybe more often no in a healthy way.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Maybe also to the listeners out there, ask yourself, what's your internal reason? Why does it feel so hard for you to say no? What does it make you feel in a moment to say no to something? So, from your work with breath and the body, how does the body signal that a boundary is needed in a specific moment?
I would say it happens somewhere in the belly, like this famous gut feeling. But for some people, including me, sometimes it's hard to feel. So I think this is the body reaction. If I have a body reaction like, oh, nah, doesn't feel right, instead of, oh, yes, nice, I want to do that. I think this is something maybe you can try to listen to more. Yeah, but if we're very trained on overstepping our boundaries all the time, saying yes, saying yes, saying yes, I can do that. Okay, yes, I can do that. Oh, I finished that task, then I can chill. Oh no, now next task, then I can chill. So then it's sometimes hard to feel that. But I guess this is what I would, yeah, try to have more close look at.
Mm-hmm. So, kind of create that awareness of what happens in my body in the moment
Yeah.
to react to that.
Yeah, and if I restrict, because you also asked for breath, I mean, probably it's the same thing where I start to restrict my breath. Yeah, when I imagine, hey, if I do this, can I breathe freely and openly, and can I really say, okay, yes, or is it more like, oh yeah, I have to push somehow through, and then okay, then we'll be fine. So maybe if your breath is still flowing, can also be a hint, okay, that's fine. If you feel like, no, I restrict, I tense somehow inside, then it's probably a hint that a boundary is needed.
Thank you so much, Till, for sharing some of your wisdom with us. So I'd like to close this off with one final question. What is one truth you wish more people would pause long enough to feel?
Yeah, first of all, welcome. Thank you for inviting me. What I experienced most important is that we own our feelings, that we really stay and say, hey, this is my feelings, this is my stuff, this is with me, nobody else's fault. Maybe people did something, so that came up in me, but then still it's my responsibility to deal with my feelings and to maybe see why are they so active, where did they come from, so we don't always stop to playing this back and forth game of, hey, you did this, you made me feel like this, that's why I'm now doing like this, you could have known that I feel like this because you know me. Yeah, I think this could be very, very healthy, and I would be very happy if this would be more how we treat ourselves and our fellow human beings in the society.
Own your emotions.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
And this was just the beginning. This was part number 1 of our interview special here in Ikaria. We have 2 more incredible guests coming up in part 2 and 3. Next off is Christine. She is 100% Breathwork ambassador, probably the most passionate Breathwork facilitator and teacher that I've met so far. So if you enjoyed it, if you resonated with the questions, and if the answers have provided more insight for you, then I can promise you there is so much more to come. And I already look forward to welcoming you back here for the next part. Up until then, I send you all my love and light. And don't forget to share yours with the rest of the world. And one more thing before you head off. If you have any questions or you would like to get in touch, learn more and grow more, check out my website whoiam-official.com or send me a message at healwithjackie. You can find me on Instagram. I would absolutely love to get to know you and work with you. So, see you there.